I was either doing a photo shoot, or I was depressed, or I was a real mess. So I ended up losing my job, and then I started my own website. And I was dating a guy where we were living together, because every guy that I dated, we moved in together, because I don't know. I don't know why. I just wanted to get married and have a baby. So we lived together for about a year, and when so this person, he had porn magazines, and they were of women with breasts like huge, like bigger than their head each. It was weird. Well, to me it was weird. I don't know. It was a fetish, pretty much. It wasn't just normal. They were like, I won't go into it. Try not to go into it. But he had these magazines, and I didn't look like that at all. So so it was kind of weird to me. I didn't like it, even though I was doing my own website and shooting. But this was gonna be my husband. Like, he shouldn't be looking at, if he's flattered that I'm doing it, but I didn't want him looking at it.
Guys, as you can see from the title, this is an ex-adult entertainer who decided to confront her husband because he was looking at not pictures from the Spicy magazine. But before we move on, this is Marriage or Bachelor highlights, and I'll put the link of this video down below so you can watch the whole video. So let's continue watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you.
I just couldn't give in to that. That was hard for me. But we ended up having a really bad fight, and he started packing my stuff up in my car, and I was like, if you keep putting my stuff in my car, I'm gonna leave and I'm never gonna come back. And I was still living in Jacksonville. So he wouldn't stop packing up my car, so I had to follow through. So I got my car, and I just drove. I didn't have a map or I had a paper map, but I didn't have like a cell phone with a map on it to tell me where I'm going. So I just got on the road and started driving. And then I realized, oh, I'm in Tampa. I know somebody who lives there. I knew 2 people who live there, and I was tired. So I called one of them. I went and stayed at his house. It was it was a guy who was like a model or whatever. So I stayed with him. I didn't really like him. He got on my nerves. So I called the photographer that lived out there that had shot me before, and told him I was there. And I don't remember how exactly it went down, but I ended up moving in with him right away. Like, I didn't have to stay by myself, and I didn't ever want to be by myself. That was too scary for me. So I moved with him. He was a webmaster. He shot his ex-wife. He shot her website. He had shot me, and then he took over my website and took it to the next level. And I was severely depressed in that relationship. I really never really left my bedroom unless I needed to eat. And he was okay just letting me not do anything. But he would shoot me, and he would push my boundaries, and he got me doing things that I going even further with things. And it was a weird relationship. He was the same age as my mom, and he was a lot older than me, and we never told each other that we loved each other, but we were a couple. It was very strange. But after about a year and a half of living with him, I ended up, he broke up with me. I wasn't shooting a lot of stuff except for my website, because that was my main income. So because my website was good and I made a lot of money, that meant that I didn't have to shoot every week or 2 weeks or whatever. I could just do what I wanted to do. But it wasn't making a lot of money, so I wasn't always able to, I did pay my rent, but there was, sometimes where it was really hard to pay my rent. And one time I had to do a contest I heard about it on the radio, and it was like hot legs contest. And if you knew me, this is not something I would do. It was really dumb, and
Yeah, guys,
won.
why is it that women will do a thing, they will commit an act, but all the time they will say, no, this is not me, this is not what I normally do, this is not what it's not me, it is just that it is like this, like this. Women don't always take responsibility for their mistakes. I don't know. But if it is us men, they will hold us accountable. Men have nothing on it like a mistake. Anything you do, you pay for it as a man. But as for women, they can go away with anything. Just listen, guy. Share your thought down below. That is why you see many people today staying single, marriage. Now, before a man goes to marriage now, you have to think the price. Marriage is not in our favor. That's why most of us will choose to stay single. Why buy the car when you can have the milk? Share your thought down below.
But it was $500. That was my rent, and it was so gross. It was so weird. I don't even know what I did. But so I got to pay my rent that time, and I got back on the dating websites. And then I ended up meeting somebody that I didn't like. Well, I met his friend. I met a friend, and then I met him. I was supposed to date his friend, but he took me to introduce me to his friend, and they ended up raping me. And I went back to my ex-boyfriend, told him what happened. He's like, do you think that he would want to shoot for my website? Like, shoot you two together? And I was like, did he just hear me? Like, I'm crying. I've been raped, and I'm devastated. And he's asking me that, and I felt so alone and unloved, and I didn't have a relationship with my family at all, nothing. So I was like, I'm never gonna hang out with those guys again. And maybe 3 weeks went by, and I'm by myself, and I'm meeting guys. They're coming to my apartment, and I'm feeling obligated to be with them, even if I didn't like them, because they took the time. I don't know. It's just this weird thing that I had, and I guess kind of being with somebody in any kind of way was better than being by myself, because that was the worst thing to me. I didn't have friends or anybody. So
But you had a long string of boyfriends, though.
yes, I have had lots of boyfriends or hookups or whatever, all of it. I thought that in order to get a boyfriend, you have to be this certain kind of girl, and you have to definitely have sex with them, or they're not gonna move you in. Like, you have to give something. And the men, what do they like? They want a feminine girl who's hot and sexy and like a porn girl and all these things. So I was I never felt like I was good enough. Like, I always need to change something because this person is into this, or sexually or looks wise, or stuff like that. And yeah, so I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see the guy I went on the date with. I didn't want to see the guy that he introduced me to. But there was one night in particular, I was alone, and I was sad, and I was depressed, and I was wanting to kill myself. And they contacted me, well, the one that I went on the date with contacted me to hang out at some club, and I was just like, okay, whatever, like, it's better than being by myself. And this isn't, they raped me, but I've been raped before, so who cares? So this is so weird to even hear myself saying, because I'm so different now than I was then. It was very sad. So we hung out that night, and I ended up hanging out with the guy's friend. And so after that, I moved in with him. And the guy who raped me, I moved in with him. He took over my porn career. He started getting me contracts with other people. He started shooting photos of me and other people together. He started taking over my whole business. And We were together for 3.5 years of the time I was in the industry. And a lot of people didn't know that he was abusive. He was physically abusive, verbally abusive. He was terrifying to me. And I was very isolated. So we ended up moving from Florida together to California. And it was a
Now, guys, did you hear that? He was very abusive. I was very isolated, but she stays there. Let me tell you guys, the best thing to be a man is to build yourself up. When you are fruitful, when you make your own money, you keep yourself up, you keep your status up, and you take care of yourself. Women will submit to you. No matter what, they will submit to you. You see, this guy was abusive. This guy she didn't like, but she stayed steady and was moving with him from one step to another. Why did she stay there for 3.5 years? The best thing is take care of business, man. Stay in your business. Focus on yourself, and women will be attached to you. Keep on watching the video.
Relationship. There was drugs. I tried almost every drug there is. Thank God I didn't get addicted. That's just like a miracle. But he was definitely addicted to everything and anything. It didn't matter if it was sex or drugs or other women. He cheated on me. So 3.5 years, abuse, drugs, all the bad things, doing porn, feeling empty, feeling afraid to be by myself, that it was better to be abused than to be alone. And that at least I could just go in another room and do some drugs and tune out everything. And when he was high, he was actually kind of nice or funny. But when he wasn't, oh my gosh, he was scary. He was a huge guy with big muscles, and he could easily take me down. Yeah, so we broke up, and then I went back to online dating. I don't know what my problem was. I didn't learn. I never learned. And then I ended up meeting a really nice guy. So my last year of being in the porn industry, I met this guy, and he was nice. He had his son, so it was like I would be an instant mom. I didn't have to birth a child. I would be a mom and a wife. And he's not into the porn industry or anything. He was a mainstream actor. So during this time, like, we spent 24/7 together, all the time, every day, all day. We had our routine. We would go and hike, then we would eat breakfast, then we would go home, and everything was every day. We didn't really spend any time apart. And we were together for 1.5 years. So at the end of our relationship, he went on a little trip, and he was being filmed because he was an actor. He was being filmed for a mainstream show, not a porn thing. And before he left, I felt really insecure, and I said, because he wasn't taking me, and I said, please don't go to any strip clubs. And I don't know, I just felt like if he's going to get away from me, he's going to do something bad. So I said that to him. He's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. So after he got out there, he called me one night really, really, really late. And it was like after 2 a.m. And I asked him where he was. He was slurring, he was drunk. And he said, oh, I'm at P.F. Chang's. I'm like, it's too late to be at P.F. Chang's. Like, that's not where you're at. I hear music. And he was drunk, so he tried to convince me. And then he swore to me that he wasn't at a strip club. And I just knew it. That night, I could barely sleep. The next day he called me, and I got him to admit that that's where he went, and that's what he did. He went to a strip club, and I was devastated. I was like, I thought this guy, he's the nice guy. He wasn't abusing me. But he went to a strip club. He had time on his own, and that's what he did. And I was at the peak of my porn career, if you want to call it that. I was making a lot of money, a lot of money. I was just at the top. And
guys, did you hear that? She was at the peak of her career as an adult film star, and yet she want that guy to be faithful, committed to her, because that is what she deserves. Is that not a double standard? You see, we as men, we just have to submit. We just have to give in. We just have to, no matter the circumstances. How can a man just be okay with everything, you as an adult film star, and you are still in the industry? He find you being at least passed over by different men, and then you want him to stay faithful to you. I don't get it. What is the sense behind that? Guys, share your thought down below. Let's keep watching the video.
it still wasn't enough. And that's what was really hard for me to grasp, is that at this point, everything on me was fake. I had hair extensions, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that was part of my identity. I had to have the hair, I had to have the nails, I had to have the tan, I had to have all of these things. These were who I was. That was my identity. Everything was wrapped around people wanting to pay me to do stuff, or to pay me to shoot for their magazine or this or that, and that was giving me my worth, and or that people desired me, or that I had fans that would email me and say that somehow I make their life more complete. Like, all these things were my identity. And so and I worked so hard to be in shape, like all of these things. And then my boyfriend, who I thought I was going to marry, who was the good guy, went to a strip club. And it sounds so silly because I'm doing porn, but my expectations were different, and I felt like I knew that the man that I was going to marry was not going to do that. He's not even going to be tempted to do that. He's going to be focused on me and only me, and I'm going to be, I don't know, I'm going to be loved. So him going to the club, I knew that he
Guys,
didn't really love me.
did you hear what she just said? This guy is supposed to stay committed, stay faithful, be a traditional man, while she's out there being blown off, and the man just have to admit it just to make her happy. Guys, we men have to learn now. Women has been taught how to take advantage of us, but we are not been taught how to take care of ourselves. You are supposed to have a standard. We as men supposed to have a standard. Know what we want, know what we go for, and not to be foolish. A woman want to eat her cake and have it again. Guys, as I said, I will put the link down below. If you want to complete the whole video watching, I'll put the link down below. Go to the channel, watch the whole video, because they are producing so good content. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video. Thanks for watching.